In this video, I want to talk about the overall strategy I want to apply this year to make sure that I have an ongoing and also increasing stream of revenue from stock music sites. In my case, the revenue will be primarily from sound effects, but I also have a few music assets that generate a good income on a regular basis. So I want to make sure to add new assets there as well. Essentially, I was looking for a realistic commitment to myself. With the various projects I have going on, I need to prioritize, and for me a realistic commitment regarding stock music and sound effects is to add at least 5 new assets each month. These can either be music or sound effects, but since I can produce sound effects a lot quicker, most of these will be sound effects in my case. From my experience, the Pareto principle applies here as well, meaning that around 20% of the assets will generate around 80% of the income. In order to increase the chances to have assets that perform well, I will focus on assets that are in high demand, depending on the month I'm submitting the assets in. One part of this is seasonal. A good example for this is Halloween, where a lot of people are typically looking for new horror sound effects and scary music. Another part of this will be based on events. For example, if there is a football event or a soccer for my American viewers, like the European Championship, then people will be looking for football related sound effects and music that can be used for promotional sports related videos. Additionally, at least in the case of Motion Array, there is a monthly newsletter that usually has a section where they will essentially tell you what kind of sound effects or music they need currently. For example, in the last newsletter, they mentioned that they need digital clicks for their catalog. So I produced a few assets like that, and one of them was a staff pick, meaning that it was one of the first sound effects that are displayed when anyone opens the sound effects section. And it already has a few hundred downloads, more downloads than the majority of my assets. With music, I also want to experiment a bit more with Content ID, and I will probably add any new music that I upload on stock music sites to Content ID. In my case, I can't really expect that much because I don't post my music publicly, so the chances of someone using my music without having a license are rather low. But besides that, Content ID is also a nice way to see what my music is used for. Since Motion Array has been working really well for me, my main focus will be to upload there. However, since it's a non-exclusive platform, I could also upload all my assets to other non-exclusive platforms. I've been testing some others in the past, but a lot of these seem to be rather dead, to the point where putting in the effort of watermarking all the assets and uploading them is not really worth it. So I definitely want to research other platforms and see if maybe there are some interesting new players out there. I hope that this kind of quick insight is helpful to you and maybe motivates you to take your first steps in this direction, as for a lot of people this is a realistic option to make money with their music or sound effects for the first time. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Take care.